Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. I am super happy to present to you this interview that I did with Don't Sleep. Everybody from the band was there. We had a really good time, and I got to ask them a lot of really personal, deep questions. I asked those hard hitting questions that other people are just afraid to ask. Katie Couric, all them dudes ain't got nothing on me. Bryant Gumbel, none of them, dude. I'm like some famous reporter, but like times 12 on this whole thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. Those guys are super cool to talk to. However, we didn't get to preview one of their new songs because Big Tone forgot to bring it. So I'm just going to give you all a little sample here before we get into it. So here we go. Oh, play me some mountain music. Internet, y'all wanted it, so I'm going to give it to you. I got Don't Sleep here in my Zoom room, in my office. They're here to answer questions. I threw some out to the internet. Some of you people got back to me with some good questions. Then 99% of you got back to me with stupid questions. But I'm going to rattle them off. I'm going to ask them, see if they feel like answering them. If they don't, it is what it is. But I'm going to try, man. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Well, yeah.
Cool.
Everything's good. Very good.
Cool, man. That's real cool. Hey, y'all got I want to get the business questions out of the way before this thing kind of goes off the rails. Y'all got a new album coming off called Turn the Tide on Mission 2 Entertainment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
5 years since the last one. This one came out in 2008? And this one when this one come out? 2010? What took so long to get this damn album out?
Well, you can't rush perfection, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's getting hot in here.
That's a nice shirt, Spencer Wayne.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's been a.
The good news is we got 22 songs recorded, so we have lots of material that came out of that about year and a half process to write and record. And in the meantime, we had some changes at our record label, which delayed things a little bit. But we're ready to go this summer. It'll be well worth the wait, as far as we're concerned.
Cool, man. I'm excited to hear it. All 22 of these songs coming out on the album, or you guys going to do something different with it, or?
I think we're splitting stuff up, is what I think is going to happen. Maybe like an EP and a split, and then the full length also.
That'd be cool. You guys remember when you put that one album out on that one label, and then they decided that whenever everyone would like to open their records from the top rather than the side. You guys remember when that happened?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was cool. I bought that one from Germany, by the way, and then all of a sudden after I bought it, they're like, hey, guess what? Revelation has it. I'm like, cool, I could have saved $75 in shipping. So I wish you guys would have led with that. Hey, speaking of this album, y'all got any guest appearances we should be aware of? Freddie Madball coming up on here. Anybody?
One Walter Schreifels will be on it, I believe.
I've heard of him.
He's done a couple things.
Is he playing guitar, ripping out solos, or what's he doing?
I think he is doing some vocals.
You think? Man, were you there?
I was in and out.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, but the cool thing, about getting to work with Walter is seeing how somebody like that, who's just been through a ton of really incredibly different studio experiences in his life, he brought this whole energy and production perspective that we had never had before in this band, for sure. And it was great to get to know him, to see him do his stuff. He's truly a unique person and talent, and came with a lot of fire and vision. Fire in a quiet way. He's a quiet guy a lot of times, but definitely knows what he wants to get out of the band that he's producing, and really, I think, pushed everybody to different ways than we were probably even expecting that we were going to do things. And so it was really cool to just have that experience, somebody that driven and that had his own vision of what he wanted. So that was a great experience. So, obviously through Youth of Today and GB and all the other bands that he's been in. He brings a lot of energy and karma to the album, I think.
Yeah, man, dude's super talented. So it makes sense. I'm glad y'all got to hook up with him. I remember when Garrett told me, I was like, man, take some pictures and get an autograph. I did not get one, but
Garrett, what's wrong with you? Come on, man. Spencer Wayne wanted a freaking autograph, dude.
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Hot in here. Real hot. All right. So, hey, question here I had here. People want to know, are we veering anywhere different musically on this album, or are we kind of on the same path as the last record we put out?
It's all over the place.
Nice.
Lots of different stuff.
Can I have an example?
Well, I'd say, probably 2/3 of the songs we recorded are kind of, fit in pretty comfortably with the first 2 records we put out. They have a kind of traditional hardcore sound, melodic hardcore, and there's some heavier stuff. But then we did, one of the benefits of spending, a year and a half writing and recording this and working with a couple of different producers and recording in different studios in different cities is we did have the chance to sort of break out a little bit, and that's the nice thing about having a full album. You can have some exceptions to the rules. So yeah, we have some songs that definitely break out from the typical hardcore, sound, but they all make sense. They fit. It's clear it's the same band.
Sure.
It's a lot of the same guitar sounds, and it's Dave singing. It's Dave's consistent voice. But that's the great thing about writing a full album is you have room to throw some surprises in. But we love every song on the record.
Sure. Now you guys, what's that, Garrett?
At least I do. I don't know about Tom. He's giving me the stink eye down there. What is
Tom,
that?
you write a bunch of these songs, right? Or is it a collective with everybody?
Yeah. I think we all kind of throw in. I usually just have the basic idea and I bring it in, and then we all kind of work on it together. Dave brings in like a kind of the core idea, and then we all kind of pass through it. So
you do.
Everyone touches.
You do a lot of heavy lifting musically, like guitar wise. Let me ask you this: can you name one guitar player you're better than right now?
Damn, I don't know.
I heard Steve Miller is what I heard you were telling people. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
It's hot in here. All right. I think that's the last one I got.
I think we have Spencer. I think our kids have Spencer Wayne to thank for them having Chris's presents this year.
Well, I'll tell you how this happened.
Our merch sales are coming from you.
My wife told me one time, she's like, that shirt makes you look thin. And I was like, I'm going to buy the other ones then too. And that's a true story. Cool. Well, thanks for not getting into my street beef that I was trying to create here, Tom. I appreciate that. Speaking, Tom, while I'm asking you a question real quick, are you related to Mark McGrath?
No relation that I know of.
Oh, so all right. So you can't have him sign this record for me? All right. Fair enough. Anyway, moving on. Hey, people have a lot of questions about the band name. Biggest question I've been hearing from people is, why didn't you choose a different name?
I ask that all the time. I don't know why we didn't.
Every time I go into a convenience store, people are like, hey, man, I like that shirt. Don't sleep, man. And then I'm like, if they catch me yawning, they're like, don't sleep. And they laugh at me. These are true stories. But yeah, were there any other names in the pipeline other than Don't Sleep? I read the story, the origin story about the name, so I'm not going to ask you about it. But were there any other names y'all were working on?
I don't think there were. I feel like we
Tony, you came up with the name, right? I mean, that was your...
I think Tom said it, and then I was like, oh, we should call it that.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's teamwork. Yeah, that's what we need right now in America is teamwork. So I appreciate y'all for being dedicated.
What do you think? You don't like the name? Is that what you're saying?
Here's the thing you gotta know about me, man. I don't care about band names or song titles or lyrics. I don't really ever pay attention. Like I will tell you like my favorite songs, and I will only know part of the lyrics. because that's how my brain works. So I'm in it for the melody, man. Yeah.
So this album truly does have a lot of what you're looking for. Got hardcore melody. It's got a lot of different stuff going on, and to me the best albums were always the ones that did have some like holy cow moments. Like where did that come from? Husker Du.
Yes.
One of the all-time great groups, The Clash, obviously tried so many different genres and did a lot of great things, and they were great in everything they did. And I think if you're a musician, it's good to stretch your wings a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of what you'll hear on this, is a hardcore band of guys who grew up loving the same stuff, but who grew as musicians, even in the course of this album.
Yeah.
So everybody grew as musicians and songwriters too. So it was very, very, you'll hear it. It's got a spark to it.
I appreciate that, man. That's what the people want. They want spark. Thank you, Dave, for being the voice of reason while the other guys just kind of sit here. So I appreciate you for looking at the music for what it truly is. Hey, here's a question I like to ask everybody. If you could be in any other band ever, what band would it be? Big Tone, I'm starting with you.
Any other band ever?
Yep, ever. It doesn't have to be cool. Please don't make it cool.
I would say the Beatles.
Yes.
That's it. No one else can say that now, right?
No, we can all say it, man. I wanted to be Paul McCartney forever, so yeah. Dave, what about you?
Probably surprisingly, everybody would think that I would want to be in, the Clash or the Jam, just because of those are the two big formations of me musically. But I'd actually go with, I think I'd probably go with Boston.
Okay.
The band Boston.
Yeah.
I would be freaking in ecstasy to be in Boston. The layering, the production, it's incredible songwriting and harmonies and stuff. So yeah, I'm going with Boston.
All right. Boston it is. You heard it here first, everybody. Dave Smalley, Boston.
Rock and roll creature.
Garrett, what's up, man?
I'm going to have to say Motley Crue. I mean, I read The Dirt. I saw the movie. I know a lot of people hated on the movie, but I thought it was better than 99% of anything else that's ever been out there. I can only imagine what it was like in LA on the Sunset Strip back in the day. It must have been amazing. So I'm going to say Motley Crue. Why not?
All right. Fair enough.
Sorry, Tom, I know I stole your answer.
I was thinking either Guns N' Roses or Van Halen, because Motley Crue is, I don't. Yeah, I think Guns N' Roses would probably be mine.
Fair enough. See, here's where I wouldn't choose Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose, man. You want to put up with temper tantrums? I don't want that.
You got to do that. I mean, almost every band, especially in that genre of bands. Lead singers from like the 80s to 90s. I feel like a lot of them had that.
Big Jim? Big Jim, what about you?
It would be
man?
Black Sabbath.
All
It'd be Black Sabbath.
Cool.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about you guys tonight.
Yeah.
You guys don't want to know my answer?
Yeah, I do actually.
Smash Mouth. Not a joke. Don't laugh. Greg Camp is a freaking genius. Go and listen to those. Don't listen to the singles, man. Dive in there deep. And you want to hear some freaking pop jams, some 60s pop, man. Listen to Smash Mouth. I'm not kidding. I would love to be in that band. Anyway, Greg Camp, if you watch this, I want to play guitar with you. So hit me up. Thank you for that answer. Here's a question I have for you. Do any of y'all still claim straight edge? Just raise your hand if you do or don't.
I do.
Tony, when's the last time you smacked the vape out somebody's mouth when you caught them smoking in public?
Not anytime recently, so not soon enough that I can recall that. I'm sorry.
Taking the straight edge card back. Thank you. Moving on.
I can say there's nothing better than playing in a band with someone who is A, straight edge, B, has motion sickness, so he has to drive all the time. So there's always someone to drive after the show, reliable, and I never have to worry about sobriety in this band.
Fair enough.
I feel like those were backhanded compliments, but I'll still take them.
Hey,
That's
Tony.
why we keep you around.
I salute you. You are a true American, and I salute you. Hey, weren't you one of you guys in a band called True Americans? What band before? American Me? What were you in?
Very Americans.
Very Americans. There you go.
Yeah.
See, I did a little bit of research. I did some research on Dave too. Found one of his first albums he did here, Raspberries. with Dave Smalley back here playing bass guitar. Eric Carmen, man, you still talk to him?
Yeah, we're I don't know if we're as tight as we were in '68, but we're pretty good. We're pretty good.
He's a cool dude, man. I think he's like 5'1". So me, him, and Prince probably hang out. But yeah, man, you come a long way. I'm proud of you too. Another question. I don't believe in guilty pleasures because I don't think you should hide what you really like. But what would be one record that people would be surprised that is in your record collection? Big Tone, I'm starting with you. Don't say something cool.
I don't. That someone would be surprised is in my record collection.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at you, we all think like, this is the most hardcore dude I've ever seen in my entire life.
Obviously.
So we wouldn't expect you to have anything less than like the most like brutal hardcore.
Maybe 4 Non-Blondes.
All right, cool. I'll take it. Dave, what about, well, I know you're all over the place, Dave. Me and you are like the same dude. I know that your brain is very smart and that your taste is impeccable like myself. So I know that you're all over the place. What would we not expect to find in your collection?
So, first of all, thank you for that compliment, because comparing myself to you is like a high compliment, brother. So I'm going with today, and I've sung this for these guys backstage. This band, I'm kind of have this weird obsession with. So except I only know one song. I think they're called Climax, and they sang that song "Precious and Few." You know that song?
Like the
Precious
60s song?
and few are the moments we two can share. You know, and if I can't find my way back home, you know, and it just keeps going. It's this beautiful, like sad, happy, tragic song, and I just love it. So there you go. It's my full win factor on display for the world.
That sunshine pop, man. I'm all about it. Garrett, what about you, man? You hold it down.
You know, the Jam's already come up in this conversation. I have to say, I love the Jam.
Too cool. It's too cool.
That is too cool.
No. That's not my answer. I actually got into the Style Council before the Jam, and I mean, a lot of people will probably hate on the Style Council. But that was my entree into the Jam. So it's, you know, in hindsight, it's pretty cheesy 80s pop music. I don't know what Paul Weller was thinking back in the day, but that's it.
Thank you very much for your honesty and steadfastness. Big Jim, coming in at 6'7", 250, man.
I think it would be Toto 4.
All right. Man of few words. I appreciate it. Tom, what you got, man?
I would probably say I'm a pretty big Grateful Dead fan. I like that.
Cool.
Wait, so do you have records or do you have like live show recordings? Because the records are pretty bad, right?
No, the records aren't bad. But, Workman, it's all good. I actually like to record it more than the live.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hey, Tom, let me ask you a quick question, man. You know where I can get some weed? I bet you do.
I
bet you know somebody. Hey, anyway, Tony, we're on the same page here, you know? Now, some questions. One question that somebody actually did ask that I had for Dave, he wanted to ask this question specifically. You guys know my boy Steven Gilbert from Instagram? You guys know him, right?
Stevie G.
Yeah, everybody knows Steven, right? So, hey, he had a question, and he wanted to know, do you feel like any lyrics that you've written in the past have actually, like, come to fruition, like things that you might have wrote in, like, the 80s or 90s you're seeing happen now?
That's a great question. I think a lot of my lyrics tend to be about personal challenges and personal growth, and they're not really like predicting, you know, political change or you know, anything like that. So maybe they're just hoping for a better world in general through individual effort, and like, you know, rededicating yourself to a good cause. You know, I mean, this is a little off the rails, but like I'm kind of like all in on find a cause in your life that you believe in, and kind of make yourself better and challenge yourself to try and get there. I'm all about pulling that sword out of the stone, not just leaving it in the stone, So I think the answer would be, I feel like hopefully myself and fans of mine over the years have carried personal growth and integrity with them and grown as individuals and grown-ups from kids.
Yeah, that's the answer I'd expect, man. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey, speaking of this, Dave, do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you a question real quick about it. In case you guys don't know this, Dave wrote a song called Nothing Good on the Radio, okay, on that album. In that song, he fired shots at Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys, Matchbox 20, Sean P. Diddle Combs, and Tupac. My question for you, Dave, is did Carlos Santana ever come after you because you dissed Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20?
Well, I had to change my number after that song, so he might have gone with the old address and the old number. But it is funny, man. Those groups, they kind of all went away, and then they've all had like resurgences, So it's a bit disturbing to see some of these groups reuniting, and or still billionaires in the case of Diddy and all the rest of them. So, yeah, that was one where the punk rockers lost, the bouncers won. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, man. I saw Boys to Men one time in 1999. I was working at a hotel in Colorado, and they walked right past me, and I just smelled success as they walked by me. I heard,
they can sing, right? They can sing.
Damn right they can sing.
Hey,
My
Dave.
farewell, man. End of the road. Wanye Morris.
Boys and Men, they're pretty good. Boys and Men, pretty
Look,
good.
man. Look, go buy this record. Find it from someone in Europe for $35 on Discog. Get it sent to your house. Go through it. You'll be shocked at what he said about Boys to Men. This isn't exclusive. This isn't exclusive right now.
Hey, Dave, I have to say, I have to give you credit. When I heard "Can I Say," I was like, you actually used the word "shirk" in one of the songs, and I had no idea what it meant. I literally, there aren't many bands that I'm into that have had maybe like pull out a dictionary and look up the meaning of a word. And
you did not shirk that responsibility, did you, Garrett?
I did not. No. So thank you. I might have gotten an extra point on the SATs because of you.
All right, brother.
Can anyone think of any other songs that like have vocabulary that goes outside of your words you normally hear walking around in everyday life?
I know Ben Gibbard from Death Cab has a lot of words he uses that I have to like look into.
He's a literate guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't like the Decemberists, but I feel like they must have like words that I wouldn't know the meaning of too.
Yo, man, that last EP they put out was hot. You should check it out. It was like 4 songs and all of them were straight fire.
Okay.
Not kidding. Hey, Dave, quick, now that Garrett was talking about big words and whatever, now I didn't go to college, right? I'm from Western Maryland. My basic thing was like, yo, don't go get in jail or like do something dumb with your life. And I didn't kind of. So I didn't really have much of an education. So whenever I saw this in one of your albums, how do you pronounce this song title?
Minus a me.
Okay, what the hell does that mean?
So it's talking about a relationship and the girl who has dumped you, and you're no longer in her picture. So she is minus a me.
Thank you. I have been trying to figure out how to say that song title forever. And I appreciate that. And I just wanted you to know that every time I play that song on my guitar, I'm like, maybe one day I could just be up there to be like me, Dave, and Sam, just like killing it together. And I thought maybe one day when you come to Sacramento, maybe I could do that.
It's a deal. Locked and loaded.
Damn,
Ready.
that was easy. Hey, Dave, I have one more question for you that was specifically for you, and it has a right or wrong answer. And the question is, what is the best song that the Jam ever wrote?
That is a really tough one because literally that is one of the greatest groups who had just almost no bad songs in their albums. You could say That's Entertainment. You could say Down in the Tube Station at Midnight. You could say Going Underground. I'm going with Going Underground. That's
wrong. The answer is away from the numbers. So you were wrong. The answer is away from the numbers. I thank you
Great
for
song.
playing, though.
Great song. I love it. So you want to hear my story about going underground?
Sure.
So we're in Leeds with Down by Law, and this is in like the good old heyday, you know, period when punk rock was just breaking everywhere, and everybody was having so much fun, you know, exploring this universe of slight success after being in dark, dingy basements for, you know, the first, you know, 7-8 years of their lives of music. But so we're playing in Leeds at the Duchess of York, which is no longer there, and it was sold out and packed, and we're on the encore, and we started playing Going Underground, and the power blew. The whole club, the sound, the everything. The drummer kept playing, and I kept singing, and the whole audience knew every word, of course, you know, in England. And we sang the rest of the song, like, you know, 400 people or whatever it was,
Nice.
you know, perfectly, like nobody missed it. No, I mean, it was a musical, really, you know, incredible moment that I'll always remember that.
Nice, man. Was that when y'all had Chemical People behind you, or was that when you had Hunter Oswald?
Oh,
and all those
that
dudes?
was in, yeah, with like the Hunter and
Cool.
Sam and you know, Angry John days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Angry John, he was back with, man, I'm sorry, I'm going to rail this off real quick. Angry John, was he with y'all when y'all played a last run down in Southern California?
He was, yeah.
That's right. I stalked him out by his car outside of that place. What was that place called? Marty's on Newport, man. I was one of the 3 dudes up front just nailing every song. And Dave looked down to me and he was like, and I was like, that's right. And then I didn't talk to him after the show. All right. Hey, another question I had, Dave. Hey, who is Matt Gleason and why is he God?
So Matt Gleason was a guy that when I was at in Cal State, Los Angeles, he was a buddy of mine. We were on the campus newspaper together, and he had a newspaper column called The Monkey Wrench, and he would just throw out these incendiary accusations and you know, utterly true, but utterly you know, indefensible, you know, charges against the administration and everything. So we were always getting in trouble, and I was always trying to get him out of trouble, and we became good friends. And we were playing our first show, and he I didn't have a name for that song. It has nothing to do with Matt Gleason, but he was there, and I was writing the set list literally about 10 minutes before we went on, and I said, oh God, what am I calling this song? And he said, call it Matt Gleason is God. So that's what the song was called.
I feel like I'm doing America a service right now by getting to the bottom of all these questions. Hey, Garrett, I had a question specifically for you. A while back, you came on my podcast. What made you think that would be a good idea for you?
I don't remember actually being given a choice. I think I drew the short stick. No, listen, I'm one of your biggest fans. So
You are like 6'4".
It was a true honor. What was that?
I said you are like 6'4", man. And then I did the rim shot.
Right.
Right.
No, it was a true honor. I mean, it was, and in fact, my daughter was particularly stoked that I was going to be getting interviewed by you. I think she joined in for a minute, or you gave her a pep talk or something
She
afterwards.
did, man. She got that job at Target, man. I'd like to think half of it was due to me talking to her after the interview. Or no, wait, she had it the following day.
She kept that job up until the pandemic hit, and then we decided it's probably not a good.
I told her to go in and knock out the biggest dude she saw. Did she do that when she went in for that interview?
See, unfortunately, I gave her a ride to the interview, so she knocked me out because I was
Prison rules, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I think that's that's all questions I got for you, Garrett. So you can leave if you want. Hey, Jim, here's a question, man. COVID-19, is this thing real? What's going on, man?
I don't. I'm trying to figure that out myself. I think it might be. It just might be real.
Any masks? Any don't sleep masks coming out?
Hopefully.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, for those also people who haven't heard you play drums before, could you describe your sizzle to people?
Well, my sizzle's a little top heavy and a little low heavy.
All right.
So it hits you in the low, but it also hits you in the top. So it's the sizzle manizzle, we call it.
All right, cool, man. You heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first, right? Hits you up top, hits you down low. Sizzle. Thank you so much. Hey, Garrett, one thing, man, you still playing bass?
Are you looking for a new gig?
No, man, I was wondering, why did you choose bass?
It's the same as doing the interview with you. No one else wanted to do it. I drew the short straw.
I guess, man.
Come on, man. You got to bring. Someone's got to bring that low end.
Yeah, I guess you're right, man. Got to bring that 808, that funk. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You have a valid role within the world. It's not appreciated at all by anybody ever, but it does have a valid role within society. So I salute you for your service. So thank you so much.
It's one of the few instruments in a rock band that when someone asks what instrument you play and they're not super into music and you tell them, there's like that. It's like coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when you travel around and people say, where are you from? And you say Harrisburg and they kind of pause and they're like, and like they think they might have heard of it. And then you feel embarrassed kind of explaining to them that it's the capital of the state and they didn't know that. Right. Bass is the same way. People are like, is that the one where you're like this?
Up high, man.
No?
Like,
yeah, real high. So
you know who's a good bass player, man? That bass player for Manly and Ant Farm. You ever watch him play? It's good, man.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, you should. He's real good. Hey, anyway, guys, so that album, when are we expecting this album's gonna drop?
Summer 2020.
Thank you, Tony. Summer 2020, people. You heard it here first. And then when is that record release coming?
Record release show?
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know.
There's an important reason I asked this question. I don't know if y'all know Ira Henry, my boy Ira Henry. He's from Harrisburg. He told me that y'all were going to fly me out for the record release, and I just wanted y'all to confirm that here in front of everybody right now that you will fly me out for the record release.
Done.
Was it Garrett said done?
Answer that question.
Absolutely done.
Garrett said he would do it. Thank you. All right.
I met Ira Henry and at a Sheetz, standing in line. There's a guy in line probably buying beef jerky, and he had there's a guy with an ice burn tattoo on his leg, and it was in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. And I was like, "Was that an ice burn tattoo?" And he said, "Yeah." That's how we became friends.
Don't work that way anymore, man.
Not a lot of ice burn tattoos anymore?
No, I'm saying you see people with tattoos and you're like, hey, man, that's a dude just like me. And then it's like a tap out dude or something, you know? It's like a dude that works out all the time. So, and you're like, oh, damn it. So it's hard to spot your own. It used to be easy, you know? You could spot it by the T-shirt or maybe they had like a studded belt or something. But now, man, there's people who've been infiltrating. You can't tell who's who.
True.
Anyway. Hey, but again, I want to thank y'all for taking time to talk to me, to talk about your new record, answer some questions. I know a lot of us are excited about this new record. We can't wait to hear it. I'm glad that it's getting some legs behind it and moving, and you guys are the best. So thank you so much for wasting time with me.
Thank you, Spencer. We appreciate it.
Love you.